Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Today is Thursday, June 2nd. It is now midway through the year. How are you feeling? Have you reached your goals? Have you even attempted your New Year's resolutions? Have you made yourself a better person? Have you made somebody else feel better? Have you lost any weight? Have you gone to other places? Have you made new habits? Are you happier? A simple question. Are you happier? How is the year going for you? Well, for me, going pretty well. I think so. I feel much happier. I feel much more, I guess you could say, fulfilled this year, the 2022. It's been a pretty decent year for me. I can't lie. This podcast is still going. That's been a lot of fun. A really bright and shining moment in my life. I feel like I've just been more, I don't know, had a better outlook on life. More positive. Not that I was never really positive. I've always been positive vibes only, but it's just I feel better. I just feel like this year has been better for me. Now that probably isn't going to be the same for you, but you still got half a year to go. I mean, even more than that. You have a lot more time to go. You got a lot more time to come. And it's, like I said, it's already June, right? This is crazy how fast and furious that this year has been coming and going. Really, truly. I know I say it like every couple weeks of this podcast, but truly, when you keep doing these episodes and you see what happens and you see what's going on in, society, the news, what have you, it puts you in a perspective of like how much time has passed since the year began, and it's just been crazy. It really has been, and I'm glad that we've been able to share this time together. We get to chat, we get to chit chat, we get to just have the most fun together on this podcast. It's been a lot of fun. So much fun, in fact, that, it's just, it doesn't feel like the year has truly gone by, but it has. And, I feel like as you get older, time just kind of blazes by you. You go from week to week, concerned about your well-being, your life, your family, your friends. You plan things in advance. They come, they go. You move on to the next week. You got more plans. They come, they go. And, just time flies. When you're having fun or when you're not. I remember back when I was a kid, I couldn't wait for, things seemed like they took forever to happen. Took forever to occur. Whether it be a trip, whether it be a vacation, whether it just be the weekend, right? Remember how long it took to get to the weekend as a kid? It's like, come on, get to the weekend already. It was always just, it was always a really, really, struggle. And again, it's not a big deal, right? It's not like it was torturous, but it was always kind of a nagging thing. Now you're like, where did the time go? And yeah, but we move on. We move on. Couple of things that have happened these past few weeks that kind of got a lot of people down, involving acts of violence being taken place, and I'm not bringing this up just to bring it up and just to do it, but like it was a crazy time past couple weeks with the violence that had occurred, and I just wanted to let people know that I was aware of it. I did not forget about it. I don't think that it's appropriate for the show to talk about that, just because of the nature of the show, but I just wanted to let people know that I knew what was happening. And it was, very shocking, horrific stuff that happened. And there's not really much that I could do, really. But, obviously pay respects and, moments of silence and, thoughts and prayers as much as I can do, really. And I just don't want to bring it up, because it's not something that you want to, as bad as it is, as like, you should really mourn it and all that, and which, I did. You don't want to really bring it up because it's not something that I want to, talk about or feel, it's not something very pleasant. But, I was aware. I was fully aware. I just tried not to put it, in the show. I'm still not really saying what really happened, because it's just, it's pretty, it's not fun. It's not something I want to talk about. But again, thoughts and prayers and all that, what had happened, and yeah. Anyways, I'm not to be rude, but I am respectfully done talking about that. I'll talk about more funner things, like just now that we're in, finally we can now declare that we are in June. The weather is lightened up a bit, which has actually surprised me, because a week ago I wouldn't even dare to go outside or to stay outside for that long, because you couldn't do it. You just could not. And it would just be like torturous. Like, you go out, you're already starting pulling sweat, dripping sweat. You feel like you're, again, like I said last week, cooking. And it's just like, this is terrible. I don't want to be a part of this. And it's like, now the weather has lined up and it's been cooler all of a sudden. And now we're like, hey, yay, yeah, let's do things. This is fun, right? Stuff like that. And, it's like you get to the point where, like, I was getting rid of all of my winter clothing for, just to put it away, because making room for the summer stuff and all that, and making room for the, my shorts, my t-shirts, and getting rid of all my long sleeve shirts and my sweatshirts and my pants and putting those away. Not like, in like an attic, but just like in like a little plastic bag, and like shove it underneath my bed, just to be out of the way, so I can have room for, like, if I buy other summer clothes, or I buy a new pair of shorts or shirts or something like that. I don't want to have like a bunch of winter sweatshirts. That way I lose space in my dressers and all that. And I did that, and I'm thinking, like, you know what? I mean, I know it's June and all, but, like, we're not that far from cooler weather if we think about it. Like, June, July, August, September, October, it's like, it's getting closer, right? Like, it's not like as far away as we think, especially like where I live, where it could, like, the summer could last longer than we think, depending on the, how this season goes, right? It could be a late summer, it could be an early fall, who knows? I don't know. You always gotta prepare, though. You gotta prepare for what's ahead, right? It's like getting caught in the middle of a storm and like and you're not prepared, right? You take like a sweatshirt thinking like, oh, it's just gonna be cloudy, and then it becomes a downpour, and you're like, oh, I'm in just a basic ass hoodie this is gonna do nothing for me. Like, I'm screwed. Why did I even bring this hoodie out? But you think about it, that's kind of like how life is for the most part. You can prepare all you want. You can prepare for weather, for occasions, traffic, and stuff like that. But it, like, once it happens, like there's a traffic jam or an accident, you're late for work, you're late for school, it like ruins the entire day. It ruins everything. And it's like, yeah, I should have prepared for this, but I let my guard down one time, or I did everything that I could do to prepare for it. But it still happened. It still derailed my plans, derailed my day, and there's really nothing that we can do about it. Really. And it's like, even though I know that in my head, like, there's nothing, literally nothing that I can do about any of what just happened, right? Anything that happened. Say if I'm driving to work, right? And I'm like, I'm on time. I'm making it there. I'm gonna make it there. It's fine. I have time to little relax a little bit before I go, and then I'm on my way. And then right before I get to the town or something like that, there's an intersection where I'm supposed to be going. There's construction, or there's work being done, or there's an accident where people slow down and maybe even potentially stop. And then you're thinking to yourself, I gotta get there. I gotta get there. Like, I'm on time right now, but if I wait a little bit longer, I might potentially be late. And then you're doing it in all your power. Like, you're praying for the traffic to go. You're praying for the light to turn green. You're praying for this to happen. You're praying for that to happen. And then it's like none of that's happening. And then you're just like, well, I just gotta settle that I'm gonna be late. Or I just gotta settle that, I'm not gonna be able to get there when I wanted to. Depending on your situation, your scenario. That's always been like one of the worst feelings of my entire life, is not being in control of somewhere I gotta go, some place I gotta be, and like 99% of the time, I am in total control of that. Like, for the most part, like, there's no accidents, there's no construction at an untimely, time, or like everything's moving, like, flowing smoothly, right? Everything is, snapping into place. We're all good, and we're going to be there on time. But when it's not, it's like your entire life crumbles in front of you, right? And like, it's like, is my boss going to be mad? Or is this person going to be mad? Am I going to make this other person, late or something like that? This light won't turn green. Why is this light taking like eternity to turn green? Stuff like that. Just like day-to-day things that we think that we just got to get it to go our way and we'll be good. And not even think about the bad stuff if it could all go south. But when it does go south, and even to this day, I still kind of prepare my mentality to be like, okay, it will go south one day. When it does happen, and I'm never fully prepared. It's just like, let's go. I feel like it's the fact that us as human beings, being so imperfect in tasks that we do, we need everything around us to be perfect in order to do certain aspects of our life. Like, we can do like a job, right? Like, let's say like you fill out like spreadsheets or something like that, or you like, you plan some clients or something like that, and you kind of cut some corners. You're a little like lenient with it. Not everything is like perfect as it should be. But then when it goes to like your daily commute to work, or your daily lunch break or whatever, if it doesn't go as perfect as you think it should, it's like it's over. Like, I can no longer be happy. I'm not in control, and you begin to lose it. Now, I don't normally like lose it ever. I'm pretty level-headed as a person. I don't really tend to blow up that much. As much as that may not seem like the case for me, I have never really been a person to get that angry with people. As much as people probably think or have an assumption, or maybe me a little bit, like, this guy can get pretty mad. I can get upset, but I never really explode in anger, like, ever. It's just not what I'm about, really. And I think because it's because I am so much in the camp of positive vibes only. So much of my life, of my outlook, is about positive vibes and staying positive, even when it is absolutely like the most negative time of like a situation. I'm always a person to be like, hey, bro, or hey, man, or hey, dude, positive vibes only. Like, that's all I ever want is to have positive vibes. If I can have positive vibes all day, every day, and I could spread those positive vibes to everybody that I interact with every single day, then in my heart and in my soul, I feel like I have succeeded the day. And I feel like I have just won that person's friendship, potentially, won that person's, um, you know, not just friendship, but their respect. And maybe they like me a little bit more than they thought that they would. And maybe I can inject a little bit of that positivity into their outlook on life. That way they can be just like me, positive vibes only. And I hope that it's not an annoying thing. I hope that it's not a thing that could make people angry, because that's really not my intention, is to make people annoyed or angry. It's just like, that's just kind of like how I am, I think, is let's stay positive, because there's no sense in getting angry or getting frustrated or getting pissed off or getting stressed out or having anxiety. There's none of that benefits anybody in any situation. Do I get stressed out? Yeah, I do. But I feel like my stressed out is normally not as bad as most people's stressed out, or as most people's anxiety, or even most people's anger. I just feel like it's just not, and I'm so thankful that it's not. I don't know what it is or what my approach is. I can't give you those secrets because I don't even know. I feel like, and if I could boil it down to you, it's I don't take things so seriously as maybe some people do. I know a lot of people that take everything like it's like do or die or super serious, and that's nothing on them. They just think that they're, that's just how they operate. But I'm just saying, like me, I'm just very much more laid back. You can probably tell with how I've run this show, this podcast. If you know who I am, you can probably tell that this guy probably doesn't care, which, no, that's not true. I do care. I don't take it as seriously as most people do. And I feel like when you don't take it as seriously, the stress level is cut in half, at least in half. Or at least a good portion of that stress is just cut off. For me, it's like half. Maybe even a little bit more than half. Some people can't do that though. They're not as I don't want to use this word, but I guess maybe not as gifted. I hate to use that because it feels like I'm specialer than most people, which I'm not. I'm pretty average. I'm an average man. There's nothing special about me. I don't know. Maybe it's just like, when I was a kid, I used to get stressed out a lot about homework, stressed out a lot about tests and stuff like that. I was never really good in school, so I would always have to stress out about grades and assignments and what can I make, how can I make, my best situation, how can I get the best grade possible with what I have left and what I can do, stuff like that. Once I got out of that habit, once I actually started to try in college and all that, and it kind of became more and more of not as stressed out as I was back in high school or even a junior college. It just became like easier, I guess. And the more also, it's like I never thought of myself as like a perfect student, or I had to do perfect, or how to get like A pluses on everything. I mean, that's good, right? I mean, that's what gets people into great institutions like, being a doctor or being a physicist or being like a scientist or something like that, or making a lot of money, right? An MD, or a doctor in your field, like a psychologist, or like a some type of professor that has a doctorate, right? You get those degrees, you typically make more money. I never really thought of it that way. I just thought, like, let's do good on this assignment, right? Let's put some effort into it, and let's get a good grade. And a good grade for me back then was like a solid B plus. That was always a good grade for me. And I would strive to get A's too. I would get a few A's here and there. But I'm like, you know what? Let's do our best. And this doesn't work for everybody. This is not advice. Like I settled for lower grades. Like I graduated with like a 3.02 in college, right? Not great, not something to, praise the heavens or to brag about, right? It's not, amazing, but it is decent. It is good. Like I had like no danger of like being like, is this man going to pass his courses? Is this man going to no, like I never really was in that danger. And I was always kind of, cruising by. Not to say that it was easy. No, it's just like the mentality that I had was like, okay, I got this to do, got this to do, got this to do, and then got this to do. And I just like kind of broke it into, different areas where I had to focus on and kind of just tackled it all one by one. And, God, I can't tell you how many times that in college, I would always kind of freak out on myself all the time because I would feel like I would be in like so many classes. Like I would be taking like 6 courses a semester. And I would always freak out and look at my like, portal or my little like online list of my courses and what I was doing and my assignments and all that. And I would always freak out. I would always think that I would have like another class that I hadn't been to in weeks and I was falling behind in it. Like I don't know what it was, but I just kept like getting that in my head that I'm behind. Haven't been to this class in forever. I've forgotten to do their homework. I'm so screwed. But that was never the case. It would never. I would always be like, oh no, I just I'm good. I don't know why. Like and it literally like it burrowed into my brain where I legitimately like had like memories, and I had like I guess made up scenarios that I was in that class, and I had been missing that class, and this person was in that class, and I was like going insane kind of. I was like for like a brief like few weeks, right? And then I'd be like, oh wait, I'm not even in that class. Like, what am I talking about? I don't got to worry about any of that. And I don't know what you would call that. Like, I'm not sure if that's like a little bit of anxiety. Is that stress? Is that something else? But I would remember that would happen to me, and I would be like, oh shoot, like am I failing? Like stuff like that. But no, I was fine. I was solid. Everything was cool, and I remembered, talking to myself like having to calm myself down in that situation because I had legitimately thought that I was failing classes because while I was busy and while I was, calm, cool, and collected, and right, positive vibes, I was still like very busy when I was in college. And I could only like imagine it would be so easy for me to like forget about assignments and forgetting about homework and all that and stuff like that. Like it would be so easy for that to happen, but I guess it never did because I ended up graduating. So it was all cool. It's also very, very important to relieve stress in any way that you find best suiting you. When I was in college, I took a bowling class twice to get the credits, and that it was such a reliever of stress and also a lot of fun, like really, really fun. And it was a night class. It was like 3 hours, and I was like, this might be a little bit too long. It was once a week, but man, I gotta tell you this, taking that class and getting an A in that, it was kind of like a PE class. You kind of, if you were there, you got an A, right? It's like participation and all that. But being there, bowling, having fun with, other students, and just, trying to get better at bowling as well, it was such a reliever of stress that it was like, oh, I need this. This is like therapeutic. Like this is helping me like, just being able to zone in during school time and then after school homework and all that. Like I need this. This is like my meditation almost. Cuz you can just zone in on the game, forget about everything else and just kind of play and then have fun. It would always be kind of sucky that it was a night class and it would take 3 hours. But once you were there and once you were playing and bowling, it was like, nah, man, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. And I really do hope that like most students and most people that are in college actually consider taking like a PE class like that, because it can be very helpful to your mental health and to your well-being, and just like a decompressor, right? Because when you're not, and it's like you have to do it because one, it is a grade, it is credits, and you get to just play, bowl, right? Bowling is fun. It just kind of, it's like a perfect marriage. And if you have like a fun coach or a fun teacher, it's even better, I think. And it's just a lot of fun. And it's like, yeah, like school's rough, but like this all helps me deal with it. And it just makes it feel better. Wanted to move on though. Moving on to, I guess, more important things that happened last week that I'm actually finally able to express my absolute love for. Because this has been a long time coming. And if you know me, I just want to like think about this. Let's go back into a time machine right now, because this is gonna sound extremely, I guess you could say, weird of how much I've kept track of this. But I think that if I go through it and I see, and I tell my story, and I go through all the loops, all the hurdles, and everything that's been happening within this lifetime and in my lifetime, leading up to this moment in my life, I think it will be able to appreciate the journey that I have been on, and hopefully you will see that how rewarding it is for me, and maybe, understand where I've been coming from. And it was finally, it was a moment in my life where I finally saw Top Gun Maverick. Now, to start off this journey, we have to go back in time. And I mean farther than I want to go. I'm talking really far back. So, back in 2019, July 2019 to be exact. And I want to say a specific date that I think it is, but I'm not entirely sure. I want to say that the first trailer for Top Gun Maverick, I believe it came out on July. Let me try to find it real quick because this is important. I don't want to mess this up. The first trailer, the official trailer for Top Gun Maverick, came out on July 18th, 2019. It was at Comic-Con. It was totally unexpected, and it blew me and other fans like me, blew me away. Like, I was like, I cannot wait for this movie. It's Tom Cruise, Jennifer Connelly, Miles Teller. Like, this looks amazing. And I've been a fan of Top Gun for a while now. Like, always been a fan. Not just, like, and my fandom stems into, like, I love the movie. I love the drama. This is the original Top Gun. The cheesiness, the 80s vibes, the music, the theme of Top Gun, the Top Gun anthem. I love all that. I love it. And what is the icing on the cake for me is just the fighter jets, the aerial scenes. I don't know what it is about me and also about other men out there, but there's just something about fighter jets that make me go, ooh, oh, yeah, I like that. Like it's just something about it that I guess dudes just love, and some ladies too, but a lot of dudes love, and I mean love, fighter jets. I have no business in wanting to learn how to fly one of them nowadays, because obviously that requires a lot of math and science and brain power, which I don't have any anymore. It's kind of rough to become a fighter pilot nowadays, even just a normal pilot. But like a fighter pilot, that's like the top thing you can be as a pilot. Maybe astronaut, but before that is fighter pilot, right? So I have like no interest in becoming a fighter pilot or any pilot, but I just love aviation. There's just something about jets and aircraft just soaring through the sky high above you, and the sound it makes, the way it looks, and seeing videos of how the jets take off and how they maneuver and flip and roll, and dogfighting and all that from World War II to present. Just something about the aircraft that just makes a man just in awe and in wonder of how that aircraft moves through the air. And it stemmed with me in my interest when I first saw Independence Day, was when I first fell in love with aviation as a fan of watching it in real life and in movies and in scenes and shows or whatever. Just a big old fan of aviation. When seeing the jets piloted by Will Smith, and the jets fighting the aliens, and then stemming from movies since then and other things, it's just been a hobby and a passion and things I just love to. It just interests me. It's an interest. Aviation is just an interest, and it's a hobby, and I just love to view it. So going back to that, seeing that first teaser at Comic-Con 2019, July 18th of 2019, I was like, I'm in. I'm so in. Tom Cruise seems like he's all in. The reception when they first showed it at Comic-Con, everybody was outraged, and not in a bad way, but excited and ready. Like, oh, do we need this? Do we want this? And like, everybody's like, yes, we all want this. This is what we all want. How could you not want this? And then, after that, it was, I believe, in December of that same year, 2019, we got another trailer, and it got even better. There's more story beats, more characters, more, hints of the plot. Like, oh, this is going to be sick. I can't wait to see this. John Hamm's in it. All these other actors are in it. This is going to be sick. I can't wait. And then 2020 rolls around, and precisely they have 2020 Super Bowl. There's like a little 30-second TV spot in the Super Bowl. And I'm like, it's just of like Tom Cruise's Maverick just flying low, in these ridges of mountains. It's got like a heart beating to the trailer, and like a little bit of a breathing, rhythmic breathing to set the tone that this is going to be a serious movie. It's going to be an adrenaline rush. It's going to be get your heart pumping, and like I'm so ready. I'm so ready for this. And then the pandemic happens, and then everything gets pushed back. My heart is crushed at this point of sadness and of despair. Like, oh no. And by the way, this is like in doom and gloom times with COVID, right? Everybody's like, am I going to get sick? Am I going to live? Or is my family going to live? Are we ever going to see each other again? Are we going to get a vaccine? Well, what's going to happen? It was doom and gloom, right? And everybody, every movie studio pulled out their movies. They put them aside. They canned them. Next year, we'll get them out next year. That was the goal. No. The goal was like maybe a couple months. And then those months turned into next year because it wasn't getting any better. Studios were afraid to put anything out. They were afraid to show too much. To get false hype and false hopes, and having to pull it again, and movies got delayed so much. 2020, there's like basically no movies in 2020. Then 2021 rolls around, and then we get a little bit of positivity, get a little bit of this, get a little bit of that. Right? HBO Max comes out with their plan to have same day releases. and theatrical release on the same day, for theaters and HBO Max. And then stuff was starting to, finally come out. Name it from the Snyder Cut, Godzilla versus Kong, other things like that. And then, no Top Gun. And articles of Tom Cruise saying like, no, Top Gun's going to be for theaters only. Like, this is going to be an experience that is made for IMAX and large format theaters. And I'm thinking to myself like, oh my God. And this is at the end of 2020 and like 2021 beginning. And I'm thinking like, oh my God, am I going to see it this year? Like, can I go an entire another year without seeing this movie? And I'm thinking to myself like, it's 2021. I should have seen like Top Gun Maverick like this many times already. Like, that's like in the pit of my stomach right now. It's been like that since up till I saw it. Like, it's like in the pit of my stomach and in my heart, like, I should have seen Top Gun Maverick this many times by now. Or I would have seen it this many times by now. And it's just like that thought in my head. I'm like, it wasn't like I was depressed, but I was just internally disappointed that I have not seen Top Gun Maverick. And by the way, that movie was shot pretty much in 2018. And it just came out. Like, that's insane. So we get to the end of like 2021. It still hasn't come out. And then 2022 comes around, and then we get a Super Bowl ad. And we get an official date, May 27th. And I think it maybe have even been like confirmed like months before that it was going to be for May 27th, 2022. Maybe that might have happened like back towards the end of 2021. And I was like super excited, like, okay, there we go. We have a date. The coronavirus is starting to settle down. Everybody, the majority of people have the vaccine. They have boosters. We have, better ways of treating it now. Like, this is good. Like, let's put movies back out now. And then we get the final trailer in I think it's March, and that trailer just soars. And I'm like so excited, and I'm ready to finally see this. And then it's the week of the movie. And I think to myself, dude, I went through an entire pandemic, like 2 years of a pandemic. I saw 2 Sonic movies during the time of Top Gun's, teaser trailer, right? I saw Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in between when I'm going to see the movie and the first teaser trailer. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I'm getting emotional just talking about this right now. And I've already seen Top Gun Maverick. But the journey that I've been on to finally see this movie, as long as it was, as dreadful as it was, as sad as it was when that pandemic hit and when it got pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. Finally seeing this film in IMAX, I gotta tell you, man, like, I knew that I was going to at least like it, but I ended up loving this movie. I gotta tell you, I have not felt that happy and that excited and just that joyful about a movie or watching a movie experience in quite a while. And I mean, I loved it. I loved every single minute of that movie. From the moment it begins to the moment it ends, that movie is not only just an adrenaline rush of a ride, and the filmmaking of these dogfighting and aerial scenes with modern day technology, filming FA-18s and other various planes, is incredible to watch, and it's just incredible to fathom how they were able to get this many good shots and to make it seem to show how real that how these jets maneuver, how the pilots look inside when they're moving or when they're flying. It's truly a spectacle. It's a spectacle. and it's like something you don't get that often. I haven't felt this like happy about a movie in a long time. Not just because of the pure brilliance of the scenes and the pure technological fathoms that they conquered, but also the story is so great. Like Maverick, Miles Teller's rooster, which is Goose's son, all that. John Hammond is in it. The other pilots like Jay Ellis, Danny Ramirez, Monica Barbaro. Everybody in this movie has such a fun personality, and you just love to watch them on screen because they bring such an energy to these roles and to the situation that they're in. And they're fighter pilots. They're just fun to watch, and they're fun to root for. Like, this is such a fun movie to find a character and just root for them. To succeed. It's just fun in that way. And then you go from even to Glenn Powell's character, who just was so much fun to watch. And like I said, Miles Teller. Jennifer Connelly is great in this too. I haven't seen a movie with Jennifer Connelly probably ever. I mean, like, I've just never really been into her movies per se, her types of movies that she normally does. But she was great in this. And I think this might be like the first time that her and Tom Cruise are in a movie together. Like, that was fun to watch. But the movie is just like it really is a callback to movies from the old days. Like old school style action movies where there's no real like deep lore that it's based on, no adaptation really. No universe, no things connecting, no superheroes really. It's just old school fun. That's what it was. And that's what I loved about it. It was just old school fun. And the drama was great. I'm so happy, and this is not a spoiler at all. But I can report to you that they did not rehash the original. It was completely different, completely new. And I gotta say, I was very concerned because, and not like really like I'm like super concerned, but like it was always in the back of my mind, in the back of my head, like they could just redo the first one and get their monies back, and maybe not really have put that much effort into it. No, they put a lot of effort into this, into the story, the characters, and what happens to these characters. I mean, like there's a lot of like stuff, and like you can tell like there's a lot of development within this story to make it work. And believe me, it works. It fully, truly works. And I can only recommend it so much. It's like to honestly to put it as simple as possible. You have to see this movie. I don't say that normally about a lot of movies. I haven't said that since maybe Dune last fall, which I also loved. But like Dune, just like Dune, Top Gun Maverick is a theater experience. I'm going to go see it again next week or this weekend because I need to see it again. Like as soon as the movie finished, I'm like, I need to see that again because I had so much fun with that. And everything about it, literally everything, music, characters, themes, effects, action scenes, drama, emotion, it was all there. It might be Tom Cruise's best movie. As much as I love his Mission Impossible films and how great that they have been lately, like fantastic movies as of lately, Top Gun Maverick just is perfect to me. It's perfect. It's a perfect movie. It's a perfect summer blockbuster movie. And it harkens back to how old school movies felt back in the 80s. It just makes you feel good. They make you feel positive. They make you have a little bit of a pep in your step when you leave the theater, humming that Top Gun anthem. Like it's incredibly worth it. I think if anybody will watch this movie, it's going to be very hard for them to not smile through this movie and feel good about yourself after you see this movie. Truly, I really feel like it's going to be hard for you to not feel positive about this movie. Really, really, truly. And with that being said, with all my suffering these past 2 years of not being able to see this film, hearing things about it, delays, got to be in theaters, more delays, more negative news, coming out of the pandemic, and seeing this movie for the first time in IMAX in a theater with other people to also laugh and, hear some sniffles of sadness, and then at the end just an applause and just soaking in that Top Gun anthem. This movie is an 11 out of 10. I know that might have, people hate that I break my scale all the time, but this movie just did something to me that this movie had no business in being this good. And it was that good. That good. I mean, I just can't put into... words don't even give it justice. You just have to experience it. And for what it's been doing at the box office, it has been doing that. People have been going out to see this movie, and I'm so happy that it is Tom Cruise's highest grossing movie of his career, because this fully deserves it. Fully deserves it. It's an experience. It's fun. It's exciting. It's a movie. It's just an action movie that happens to be... It's so simple, yet so good and so enjoyable. Like, I truly can't say it enough. You just got to see it. You might not like Top Gun. You might not like Tom Cruise. But I guarantee you this. You watch this movie in IMAX, you're going to be like, yeah, that was worth it. That was definitely worth my money for sure. And it's so much I'm going to see it again this weekend. I can't wait. But the long-awaited review of Top Gun Maverick has concluded. And truly, I could not find anything wrong with it. Maybe the theme, the Top Gun anthem wasn't long enough, maybe, but that's just a nitpick. That really doesn't shift the movie's grade or score for me. But there you have it, folks. I've been talking about this since Out of the Ordinary Friends, my first podcast. I've been talking about this movie since then, when it was announced, and I've been talking about that. I've been bringing it up when my friends would be like, "You can't see Top Gun because of the pandemic." I've been talking about that for years, and it's been documented how much I've wanted to see this so bad, and I finally have seen it. And again, you have to see it as well. You just gotta see it. See it on the biggest screen that you possibly can, because it is... I'm telling you, it is so worth it. And along with the sound design, oh my God, it's just breathtaking. Like my theater was shaking at some parts. I was like, yes, give it to me. I need this movie in my veins. It deserves to be in my veins. And I'm going to get it again next weekend, or this weekend coming up. But anyways, that's my review of Top Gun Maverick. An 11 out of 10. Fully deserved. Fully deserved. Last thing before I get you guys out of here. Real quick, or not quick. We'll see how quick I can keep it. But along with the release of Top Gun Maverick, on May 27th, was a show called Obi-Wan Kenobi that premiered its first 2 episodes on Disney Plus. And I'm here to give you my non-spoiler thoughts. Very, very non-spoiler about Obi-Wan Kenobi and what I thought about the show. So if you don't know, if I can catch you up a little bit, the Obi-Wan Kenobi show takes place 10 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3. And obviously, we're going to be following Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi in his adventures, in his lifestyle, 10 years after Revenge of the Sith on Tatooine. And him having to deal with watching over Luke Skywalker. Now, that's not a spoiler. That's in the trailers. And his adventures throughout this series. Now, we're only 2 episodes in. It's a 6-part series. And I gotta tell you, I don't love it. I gotta tell you, I do not love it. I very much like it, but I don't love it. And was I expecting to love it? Yeah, I kind of was. Should I have not been as hyped up? It's so hard for me not to be hyped up about this. It's Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, I tried. I really did try to not be so hyped, but he was like the best part of those prequels, man. His Obi-Wan was just like perfect. Like the perfect younger Alec Guinness. And he still is. He still kills it in this role. He fully brings it in this role. He's a producer as well. You can tell that he cares about this. And he does an incredible job of playing a broken Jedi Master that has failed. Ultimately has failed. And keeping Anakin from turning to the dark side. Not a spoiler. But he's the best part in this show so far. And I hate to say this, but some of the characters around him are just, in my opinion, just kind of poorly written. And I feel like that kind of suffers and brings the show down a little bit for me. And particularly the Inquisitors. All of them, in my opinion, are just like, I don't care. And that might be hard for you people to hear that I'm saying this, because I've said many times, I love Rebels, I love Clone Wars, I love the Inquisitors and Rebels, I loved, like, they were all so good. For some reason right now, like right now, the Inquisitors in this show are so, I guess you can say, like, they're all like just one-note bad guys that I feel like that they are right now. Again, it's only 2 episodes in, but like, I don't get I don't get a good vibe, like a good I don't really care about them. And I know that they're the bad guys and they're supposed to be bad, but like, I mean, give me something there for me to at least like give a damn about your character. If you're going to be in the show for, this much, I got to give a shit about you. And like, just like these 2 episodes, I got to say, and first impressions last a lifetime. I'm not sold on these Inquisitors. Now, like I said, Obi-Wan's great. He's great. But there's a couple things that also just kind of look weird to me. There's like a few action scenes, a few chase scenes that just kind of seem so oddly shot, oddly choreographed, oddly placed, dragged out a little bit. It's like, we only get 6 episodes here. Why are we dragging out sequences like this? It almost seems like it's like they have like too much fat in these episodes. And not all of them are that long. Like, I think episode 1 is like 55 minutes and like episode 2 is 40 minutes. So I'm feeling like we got like a couple episodes now, and we got a few parts in this series where it feels a little draggy a little bit. And look, I know, like, I shouldn't be this hard on this show, but like, this is supposed to be, for me, the body and blood of Christ of Star Wars here. I mean, we got Ewan McGregor coming back as Obi-Wan Kenobi. We got Hayden Christensen coming back as Anakin Skywalker. I mean, I think like that to me, those 2 characters are essentially Star Wars, or at least one era of Star Wars is those characters. And I feel like I'm just a little disappointed about this show. And I know, I understand. It has only been 2 episodes. There's a lot of it to grow. There's a lot we could do in those remaining 4 episodes. But at this moment, right here, right now, I'm not blown away. And I feel like I should be. It's Obi-Wan and it's even McGregor as Obi-Wan. How I need to be blown away here. Now, that's not to say that the show doesn't have any good moments. It does. It has some very, very good moments. Also, some moments I just don't give a damn about. Like, truly, like, I did not expect for me to have to say this in this episode, but I gotta be honest with you. Some parts, I just don't feel it. I don't feel any magic. I don't feel any creativity. It just seems so bleak to me, so bleak and boring. And that transitions from, just some of the sets, the dialogue that some of these characters say is like so like one note and kind of bad. It just like feels very, in some parts, half-assed. Some parts lazy, and it didn't sit well with me. A little disrespected, I have to say, and I think it should be known that, and maybe I'm also just I guess like I guess it should be pointed out that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are not behind this series. I just think it needs to be pointed out there, and you can tell that their creativity and their direction is, for me, missed in this episode, in this series. I feel like whatever it is that the magic that those guys bring together, the feel of like mythic storytelling I get with Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, is missing in Obi-Wan. It is. There's just there's a feeling that I do not get with Obi-Wan Kenobi that I got in literally every episode of both seasons of Mandalorian and the season of Book of Boba Fett. I can't, it's hard to explain, but I find a lack of the classic Star Wars feeling in Obi-Wan that I got with Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. I just gotta be honest with you. There's it's missing. It truly is missing, and I don't know if like it's because they were too busy or what, but like I can feel like there's just a lack there. It's lacking. I truly believe that Obi-Wan Kenobi, the show, is lacking that, where Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett just excelled, and you always got like that feeling that this feels so right in the realm of Star Wars. Like it's perfect. It's like a perfect marriage when these guys were working on those projects. Like you don't get that with this show. You don't get that. I don't think we will get that. This is all not Favreau, not Filoni, so I don't know what to expect. I can only hope for the best. To hopefully, it gets better. Again, it's the first 2 episodes, but again, those 2 episodes got to be good, man. They gotta, the first impressions. Like again, like I know it's not do or die right now. Like we're not pushing the panic button yet, but like I think that those episodes should have been better. I really, really do. But again, I'm not gonna report on this every week. I'm just giving my first initial premiere thoughts. You will not hear about this until the season concludes or the series concludes, which will be in about 4 weeks. So only time will tell if the show gets better or it doesn't. I really hope that it does, because I mean, there's just something missing there. There's something missing, and it might be for Filoni, Favreau, or maybe they tried something. I don't know, but it's just missing. And maybe because we were so spoiled with Mando and Book of Boba Fett, even though a lot of people didn't like the ending of Book of Boba Fett, we got to be honest, we got some really great, amazing moments in those shows. Amazing Star Wars moments in those shows that have been hard to beat. Very, very hard to beat. And the thing is that they feel so Star Wars. It's hard to deny it. It's hard to be like, nah, that's not Star Wars. No, it is. And it feels so right. Like, Mandalorian felt so right. Most of Book of Boba Fett felt so right. Right now, only a little bit of this show feels right to me. And it can get better. I hope it does. But at the moment right now, it's not there. And that hurts me to say that. That really, really does hurt me to say that. Especially where some things, again, no spoilers, but how the plot's turning out right now, I'm genuinely, like, certain, like, this is going to open a door for a different direction than what I thought was going to happen. Now, that could be for the better or for worse. I'm not sure. But there's been some major things that have happened so far in these episodes that, could be for better or worse. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not entirely positive how this is going to roll out. But, there's things in motion right now that I'll just say this. I already can't wait to see episode 3. Even though it's not been great for me, I need to know what happens next. I really, really do. But yeah, I hope it gets better. Again, the dialogue, I was very disappointed of how cheesy some of these lines come across, but maybe that was their goal, to make it sound cheesy. I don't know why anybody would do that. That just seems very stupid to me. But, I'm not writing it, so I'm just watching. But I can critique it, though. I can critique it. And I think some lines are cheesy. Some characters, for me, very cheesy, very annoying. Like I said, I do not like any of these Inquisitors. I don't care about them at all. There's a couple characters in it also that are not the Inquisitors or Obi-Wan that I won't say, that kind of annoy me too. They just kind of annoy me. It's like, let's get on with it. Come on, like, what? You're here? Like, what? It's like, why are you doing this? Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me being an old man. Maybe me being a Debbie Downer. I'm not trying to, but I don't know. All right. Hopefully that wasn't too negative. I know I am all about positive vibes only, so that was a bit hard for me to lay it down, but I had to. I had to be honest with you. I had to tell you what I thought about this show, because if I don't tell you what I think, and if I just say it's good, what good is that for anybody else? Am I just going to roll along with people, what they say? I don't think I should. I mean, I may be in the minority on this. I may be. Most people that I talked to ended up liking it quite a bit. So if I'm in the minority, I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. But I got to be honest with myself. I have to tell you how it is. If not, I'm going to be looking like an idiot when I'm like, oh, actually I hated that, or I didn't like it as much as I thought I did. I have to tell you how I feel. I'm very optimistic and positive about how it's going to go. I think it's going to get a lot better. But right now, I'm disappointed. I'm worried. I'm worried too. I'm worried because, look, man, again, like this is the body and blood of Christ of Star Wars. This is Star Wars' body and blood of Christ. Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. The body and blood of Christ. Like, this is it. This defines an era of Star Wars. Prequel and original trilogy. This is it. Like, this has to be good. This has to be worthy of what has come before it. It has to be. You can't make a movie or show with these two characters that are beyond legacy. These characters are so beyond legacy that they make Han Solo look like a side character. They truly, Obi-Wan and Anakin / Darth Vader make Han Solo a side character. Truly. I mean, I don't mean to be mean to Harrison Ford or the Han Solo fans, but these guys do. This is the body and blood of Christ of Star Wars. So if you can't get this right, I think we got a big problem on our hands. And show me something. Like, give me the unknown of Obi-Wan. Give me the unknown. We know he has to kind of watch over Luke, but there's got to be something in there that we don't know that could be interesting. And I think you might know what I'm talking about. It's been mentioned in the prequels. At the end of Revenge of the Sith, it's mentioned by someone. It's mentioned by Yoda. Give me that. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I want you to hopefully experience it for the first time unspoiled and only only brought up within the show's organic way to bring it up. But I think you might know what I'm talking about. Yoda says this to Obi-Wan at the end of the movie, Revenge of the Sith. So I want to see that, and I need to see that now. Let's get there. Let's get there quickly, because I think the show needs to get there quickly. I think we've had our little fun thing in the first 2 episodes. We've had our introduction to certain characters and reintroduction back. Like let's move on. Let's go. I hope that's what's going to happen. It certainly feels that way. I feel like, my friend told me this, like maybe that's why they released the first 2 episodes out now, so that they can get them out of the way. But I'm like, that could be a reason. That's not out of the possibilities. But also, first impressions last a lifetime. That's very, very important. But anyway, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you again for listening. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that so much. Remember, you can listen and watch this podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Remember to rate, review, like, subscribe, share the videos, share the podcast. If you have a suggestion, an idea, you can DM me on social media. Those are in the descriptions of every podcast. And yeah, that's it. Thank you again for listening. Thank you for watching. And I will see you guys back next week.